Hello everyone, my name is Saurabh Zinjad. Today I'll be presenting a review for paper 1 research priority for robust and beneficial artificial intelligence. So let's get started. So agenda for today to go through certain steps. We will go through the paper, whatever the papers contain, we will go through it. I'll try to give my perspective, we will try to do summary, focus on the strength and weaknesses and how this paper think from the safety dimensions which we have gone through the lectures. Mainly paper focus on finding the potential benefits of using AI which could be help society in general. The main focus is that while it wants to avoid any potential gaps, pitfalls, security risk and all, and want to make the AI robust, beneficial, and it should align to the human interest. So that is a kind of a crux of a paper. This is the just a big overview, big uh, picture you can say what paper goes into. It discuss about the research priority for short-term goals and long-term goals, while mainly had a large content around the short-term goal. But if you go to long-term goal, they don't have that much. In a short-term goal, they cover this topic, which we going to cover into details. What are those and how they impacted? So we are going to discuss each point here one by one. So before diving deep into what are the research paper is, what I learned through and what I gather, and I like to add before diving deep is that the premise is that since the 20 years AI has exponentially grown in its algorithm, in its environment. Currently the AI research is growing drastically in its usefulness, and it's going to make impact on a society, and it's going to be increased. Because of that, all these other concerns like a security safety assessment is come into hand. When you look through this paper, I would encourage you, like what I have looked through from the maximizing, all points are from the perspective of maximizing the social benefits of AI, and it focuses mainly on that. It's not focused on any algorithm or any statistical survey and all. Social benefit. And this paper mainly raised a lot of questions on what process goes into it. Raised a lot of questions throughout the research paper. It focused on what AI should look like, what standards should be applied. So for me it was a very nice stepping stone what the problems and gaps are there in artificial intelligence from standard viewpoint of a safety assessment, and that, and how much impact it will create, those gap will create if it won't solve. So yeah, it's really useful for a researcher to navigate through this study, and it gives me a kind of a clear boundary between what kind of a problem I'm solving and how I should look into it. As per diagram, let's dive into the short term priorities, research priority the paper has discussed. So it has broadly discussed three main things like economic impact, law and ethic research responsibility should be. While diving deep into AI, it is always going to be very crucial question to answer topic around the economical impact of AI on the society in general every sector. So there are three different areas where economical impact we will go one by one through each one of them. Labor market forecasting. So by the using of a AI, it is highly chances that most of the tedious or maybe automated repetitive tasks will get automated. It will highly impact the job market we currently have. Question are raised here like when and in what order the various job become automated. Will it start from the very easy minimal repetitive task, and will it go toward a very highly complex task like starting from factory worker? Will it how will it progress toward the creative processes like artists? So how it will get transformed throughout the level of a job requirement and complexity it's needed, what kind of a thing it will contribute, and how will it this automation will impact the salaries of different workers. What about the less skilled worker? Okay, what about the creative professional and other type of like information? So this kind of a question author raised while going through the labor market forecasting study. Author referred that it shows AI may increase overall wealth of all humanity collectively, but when it observed that it increases automation but push the income distribution further toward the power law, it may suggest that people are getting richer and poor people are getting poor, and this disparity is may fall disproportionately along this line of a race, class and gender. The next point is what kind of a disruption it will bring in a different sector and market. So due to the progress of AI, all markets are at a susceptible to get disrupted in one way or another way. The famous one or a crucial one like a finance, insurance, and other kind of a consumer market. So, so in what order this market will get disrupted, and what will be the impact of it, what will be the changes of it, so and how to identify which market will get disrupted is just highly crucial thing to identify. So the one thing we can do is like a by combining the how high complex is that market and what kind of a reward that market provide. Like a finance is highly complex and reward you can get is very high. So chances is that people will or impact it will create or disrupt that market will be high. And what would be the cost of for the navigating through that complexity. So moving forward to next point like a policy for managing adversarial effect. Mm, Many assessment, many things, many laws, many uh, regulatory audits will get affected due to integration of AI into our social businesses or interactions. So to address those kind of issue, we need to raise some kind of policies. Um, so the and it is very vague to discuss at this point, but what policies could help increase this automated society flourish? Um, if AI make us some kind of a changes in the system, what kind of a metrics we should use? What kind of assessment it should happen? Because it is will very different than existing software or existing system evaluated on. For example, like one of the study explores the various policies for incentivizing the development of a labor intensive sector for using AI generated wealth to support undermined population. Um, so that if we go forward and ask the question like what are the pros and cons of this intervention, such as what about educational reforms, apprenticeships program, infrastructure projects, minimum wage changes, tax system adjustment, social safety net modification, what kind of a program or initiative we should make in those field in this things, so that policy what kind of a policies if we implemented in these fields will give us like a pro and con like bucket list to judge on like a do audit on. Again, there's the third question, like how can society ensure the population not needing to work still flourish? And it's very different direction we can say compared to but history provides many example of a subpopulation not need to work for economical security, ranging from the Aristotle in antiquity to many present day citizens of Qatar. And do we need like a research on proposing like what kind of a basic universal income offers this solution? So India, like understanding what policies, norms can break these links could significantly improve the median of quality of life. So next point is what kind of economical measures we have. Are we measuring the progress in the right way, the progress of AI in the right way? Real GDP per capita may not capture the benefit and detriments of a heavily AI automated based economy. Right. So this kind of measures would be alienated for AI systems, and make these metrics suitable for policy purposes. So research need to be done on improving these metrics, and we could be used for decision making. Okay. So moving forward to the next area of focus for short-term research priorities, heavily focuses on like a law and ethics of research. So one first topic is like how AI can be perceived in a liability law of automation vehicle. To make this point very highlighting, like assume like if self-driving car cut through like 40,000 annual traffic in half, the accidents and the risk it involves, it just we improve the self-driving cars and it goes in half. The car maker might not get like a 20,000 appreciation note, but definitely like 20,000 lawsuits. And it's not like it reduces by 50%, but those 20,000 risks are still present there. So these raise very beautiful questions, rather curious question, like how to handle these legal claims in legal frameworks, and how to ensure the safety benefits for automation vehicles, such as maybe drone, aircrafts, self-driving car. How we can realize these safety benefits in a legal framework, and how should we select How should we select the method to answer this legal question? Should we rely upon existing legal framework like a cyber law? Should they be treated separately, uh, depending on approaches for AI specification? Author specifically Author highlight the one thing like for more confidential and high impacting thing like a military and commercial application, government will need to interfere and decide how to best bring the relevant expertise to bear here. So government need to take most of the initiative like creating a panel committee of a highly talented professional or academia could help to the regulation of those law and ethics. The next one is like how should the autonomous vehicle or any kind of a vehicle AI radar system should treat while developing the application like AI systems. Should it focus more upon reaching a destination first, or like consider the ethical side first? It might be that AI suggesting a best possible route to reach out from A point to B point, but it might cut through the locality or busy street. Like how should these kind of questions and how these things will trade off? And it again like focus on like how the public engagement should be like how should lawyers, ethics, and policymaker engage in the public on this issue of like what is the threshold, what is the silver line, till which point following the objective functions, which makes AI to achieve the reward very quickly, and how should they be greedy and how this objective function be optimized up till which level when you can call it as a ethically right and ethically wrong maybe. So and how this kind of a topic will be get discussed in public engagement, and how this even if the thoughts will be conveyed. Again, like should such a trade-off be subject to the national standard? Okay, this is the very risky thing to do. Moving on to point like autonomous weapon. It is a very risky situation to use autonomous weapon in which circumstances. So can lethal autonomous weapon can make compile or compare with humanitarian laws? How these weapons could be merged with the law, humanitarian law, and how to prevent accident. The good example would be so this raises a lot of issue and confusion up till what like a weapon should be assigned based on humanitarian law. Should we ban the weapon totally? Even if we ban this weapon totally, how should we enforce this law upon? If it is a permissible or legal to use a lethal autonomous weapon, how should this weapon be integrated in existed command and control structure that responsibility or liability will be remain on associated or a specific human actor? So how to define the meaningful human control and responsibility of these weapons? How to encourage most like a transparent and public disclosure of ethical implications of this thing so that it could be used in a clear way. Would such weapon become a tool of a choice for oppressors or terrorists if we haven't defined clear-cut law for that? Next point is related to privacy. This AI system heavily rely upon data. It may be on different kind of data, textual, surveillance camera, for maybe personal data. How should one be sure like a AI system respecting the privacy and right privacy for a certain person or something? Like it collecting data from all sources. What can calculate as a data breach and all? So how to balance basically AI data analysis with the right to privacy? Should we focus more? There are like a quite of a session like should we focus on a federated learning or synthesize data? But as a AI system become complex, this task will data itself become very complex. So how to handle that in terms of privacy? How will privacy risk interact with the cyber security or maybe cyber warfare? And this is very crucial part, like to combine AI data like big data with the AI. And its performance, the performance of its combination will heavily depend on how these privacy amendments are made, how the it follows throughout the system. The next one, like professional, is like how the computer scientists will play the important part role in law and ethics making of AI development and its use. There has been a previous instances where this topic is discussed, and author mentioned those three of them. This is the point, like where how you implement the policy and how the policy question should be framed. AI is a kind of a very new technology, and it enables both like benefits and limitation as well. But it is very vague and obscure space of asking certain question. So figuring out in certain policy will definitely help us get benefits of this AI system and able to avoid any kind of risk. So while discussing such policy, like what is the space of policy worth studying? Like which policy study is very important, and how might they be enacted in day-to-day systems or day-to-day life or in a social world? And how each policy can be judged, like what criteria we can use to derive the merits of this policy, how the and there are like many criteria we can judge on, like enforceability, how the risk reductions happen, how AI is likelihood of being adapted quickly to certain changing circumstances or new technology adoption. So moving on to like how to build a trustworthy AI and how the computer scientists or computer science research will contribute that. So it is very crucial to like build an AI which we can trust into. It might perform well, but if you can't trust it, you can't, you will hesitate to use it. So why it's matter, like society will reject unsafe autonomous agent. If you can't trust it, you won't use it. So the goal is become like how highly verified system can guarantee robustness. And what kind of challenge we can face, like ensuring the reliable behavior of these autonomous systems. So there where the computer, this is where the computer research comes in, like making AI robust. In the number of autonomous, and as a number of this AI system keep on increasing, like this autonomous system are keep increasing, having a robustness in each system is very crucial part to have. So the example of this system, like a self-driving car is there, or autonomous trading system are there, or the weapons we discussed previously. So we need a kind of high assurance system, and it can be assured using a strong robustness. Okay, and to achieve that, we need to find out different ways in which AI can fail to perform desired results to a different area of a robustness area, and this area could be verification, validation, security, and control. So let's start with the verification. Verification basically deals with like how to prove that system satisfies certain desired formal properties, and it will and it closely assigned with the safety dimension we have discussed in our class. And it highly related, the verification process is highly related with how the user's intention matches with the user specification or the outcome we have. So the verification process can tell a lot of verification can judge on the basis on a lot of these dimensions, like intent versus specification, intent versus outcome. Verification is span around these safety dimensions, how the user's intent is matching with the outcome or the agent's behavior. So to specify verification into certain safety dimension, it will highly closely related to the computer behavior versus a real outcome the agent through or AI system throws, and the user's intent with actual output or a computer behavior output. Okay. So there are some progress on how to verify the software, but this is related to the software examples, like author mentioned SL4 kernel, which is a operating system which can mathematically check formal specifications and give us like is it guarantee against according to which is going to crash, and what are the unsafe operations are. So this could be software example related to SL4 kernel, where are very good example to build verifiable AI systems. We can build top up on that. And there is a main point to highlight: if we able to build AI system in a component basis, modular basis, where each component would be combined to give you the AI system, a final AI system, and you will have a separate verification process for each individual component that will yield like a property of a verification of an entire system. Hence, author suggests this potential verification of AI system design through dividing AI system into small components and having verification on the small components separately. And the example is discussed like SL4 kernel can be act as a very good example to transform those verification steps in the small components. But the main challenge is here for a software system, most of the environment inputs are known. But AI is kind of operate on a partially known environment. There are highly chances that AI can face with the unseen data. Again, author tell more about what kind of a relevant research area I can work upon, like use of adaptive control theory. And of course, all this issue are laid on top of a standard problem of telling that a software artifact is in fact correctly implemented, like reinforcement learning algorithms for internet type. But it is very difficult to generalize for an AI system. Some work has been done on verifying the neural applications, network applications, and notion of a partial program allowed to designer to impose the arbitrary structure on constraint on this behavior. But applying constraint on behavior itself can reduce the confidence in learning agent, and to satisfy the design criteria in realistic constraint will get reduced. So there are limitations and gaps on ongoing research. Like moving on to next one, like validation. It basically addresses how the desired behavior does not lead to harmful consequences like unseen data. It build the system in the right way. So validation process heavily relies here on a fourth component, like whatever the output agent gives, is it matches with the AI objective specification or intended user intent. So validation can lies here mostly, and there are like a solution author suggested to tackle these areas, these boxes, these safety dimensions. So only verification is not enough. That is the main challenge. Like even current system might not be very better. The system is correct, but it's not any useful to real world situation. You had some user intent, but you use a synthetic data to get higher accuracy. But how you can use that in real world situation? So how to validate the AI system's usability and its behavior with the real world parameters? And the main cause of happening that when the assumption system makes, or it wrong assumption passes through from the user specification or to system's behavior. Like wrong assumptions can also pass through from user intention to user specification and then objective function definition, cost function definition, and it can lead to very different behavior. If wrong assumptions are identified very near step, it's easy to rework on an agent's code and fix it. As the wrong assumption started to originate in the user intent or user specification, as it goes far away from agent behavior synthesis, it will become difficult to do the validation correctly, and it will raise the error very high as we move forward from agent behavior. Error, if this start come from far from user intention, it will cause a more issue. There are always like unwanted consequences will happen of meeting the formal requirement. Maybe goal is not achievable. It is a perpetual process. It's an iterative process, and that makes goal very unexpected or undesirable, like robot cleaning repeatedly, dumping ground. So it's to give out a solution. It's very rely upon what is a good behavior. We need to define like what is a good behavior, and what would be. And we need to consider 2 points, like what will be like most beneficial things and what is the ethically correct thing in each context of that behavior. And it obviously triggers of the trade-off, like how balance the computational efficiency with ethical standard, how balance the rewards, like agents reward with ethical standard practices in a safe critical situations. And it calls for experts from computer science, ethical, and that can provide some new finding. So the author suggests like combining the expertise of a different expert from a different field will definitely help, will mostly help in defining these good behavior and work on a trade-off. So next one, like security. We have created the AI system, but is it vulnerable to different kind of attacks? And security research definitely will make AI more robust. So security solution can happen in a 2 ways, like a low level robustness and then high level AI powered security. So in a low level AI systems, low level of AI system, like verification and proxy system, can make a pretty much good progress. Like robustness against exploitation at low level is closely tied with the verifiability and freedom from the bugs. It's easy to detect the bug and fix them. But still, the system can't eliminate all security problems, but can reduce the vulnerability of a type which is frequently exploited. It can reduce that. Then again, moving away from the low level to going for a high level, machine learning related technique, statistical technique, research specific to AI would be very useful in a security. This technique have mentioned by authors is like AI power security, intrusion detection, malware analysis, exploiting the detection in other program, and again, research on mitigating potential harm from AI. And this thing motivates the research on statistical behavior with the trust establishment. So trust can be implemented and managed in a complex system by these two things: statistical behavior, trust establishment, and computational reputation model, which author referred in his paper. Now, AI system, how if some problem or how quickly and easily you can fix it, it can also determine upon how the AI system is a robust one. So enabling like meaningful human interaction after development. If any kind of a issue happening, can a human intervention fix it very quickly? And this is a very important from the perspective of safety and ethical consideration. And how you can introduce a control, like including human into loop involving, or you can monitor and intervene whenever the suspicious behavior offered. There are other control protocols present, which can promise like transition between automated navigation and human control. And it is a promising area for further research. And this, in general, like control area is motivated like a broad research, like how to optimize or optimally allocate the task with a human computer team, how their synergy will work, both for identifying situations where control should be transferred for to human to get a human judgment efficiently to high value, high stake decisions. So those are the key research area. Control protocols or control granting techniques for various situations, and how the collaboration decision making will improve in human AI intervention. So now moving on to the next research priority, like a long-term research priority, and it's a frequently discussed topic among the researcher. Even the short-term research priority are near and often work in real world, but focusing on a long-term research priority can also help develop a system that can learn from experience from human-like trait and suppress the performance of human. And this long-term research priority can involve like a task, like a cognitive task, or super level intelligence, super intelligence, AGI or super AI. An author admits that achieving this kind of a task is it can have a negligible probability, but the effort can be made toward it can be successful in the future. So the research around the long-term priorities may not be achievable. It seems like achievable, but working on that continuously in the far future, there might be the high or small chances that it could get success. It could be like a mere non-negligible probability, but just author says like just having modest investment in home insurance is justified by non-negotiable probability that home burning, if the home burns down, you will probability of a home burning down. So again, author considers 4 different contexts here, like a verification, validation, security, but it is in a different context. Like the first part, like verification, a related verification topic it's a distinctively long-term concern, and its verifiability, like how the system that modify extend itself. In that case, how the verification could be done for the advanced system like that modify itself, extend or improve itself. How the verification could happen? What kind of a test will be get changes? And it's not yet clear whether how the problem can be overcome, or many similar problems will arise given the existing verification methods. And it's very difficult to apply verification techniques on a system which changes a lot as it goes further, and it not designed with a verification in mind. And this motivates the research pursuing a general theory that links how the functional specification will change according to physical state or changes. And this verification for long-term research is highly related with one of the safety dimensions we have discussed in the class, as like how user specifications and agent's goal and objective function will change here. Author doesn't provide a definitive solution to it. But he says like having powerful prediction system, the verifications around powerful prediction system and theory prover, limited purpose scientist. So this type of theory would allow user. Okay, got this. So next topic, like validation. As you have seen in the short-term research priority, validation is concerned with the unintended behavior, unintended consequences arise despite the system formed very correctly. But in case of a long-term research priority, AI system might become very powerful or autonomous, in which case failure of a validation could carry correspondingly high cost. How would you validate such a system? And again, author doesn't provide very unique approach here. It just mentions that machine learning related techniques method will help here, or maybe highlighted again the how the short-term validation research can help long-term safety part. And again, like to maximize this long-term value of a validation, machine learning research might focus on a type of unexpected generalization that would mostly be problematic for generic AI, like a advanced AI system. To give direction to long-term validation problem, author hinted toward the research area topic, which is a reasoning and decision under bounded computation reason. Then there are certain topic papers the author has recommended to how to do the reasoning and decision under bounded computation, how to reason with the uncertainty or logical consequences of voice or beliefs or other deterministic computation. And in this pair of validation, author basically discuss about how reinforcement learning can use and creates its own problems. Since the advanced agents try to manipulate and directly control the reward signals, and our paper to basically mostly heavily rely upon this topic, like a concrete our paper to rely heavily suggesting how to tackle the reward hacking and that. Additionally, author also suggests inverse reinforcement learning to give the AI to give the engineered system ability to improve its validation at a runtime. And there are like a control systems, security, which help in the long term. In the case of a security, it's author itself is very unclear about if the long-term progress in AI will be make security easy or hard. Because as the system increase in its complexity and its behavior, it may be difficult to cyber attacks to be very effective. Or maybe on the other hand, like a use of AI machine learning techniques, along with like a low-level system reliability, like existence of software's security and that. It might be to inject the vulnerability into the system with the AI system comprised of a small component which are combined of a low-level system. And author further said uh, problems of validation and from a control area for a long-term research priority. If those kind of problems solved, it would be easy for us to solve the research kind of problem. It won't be that difficult. Now, regarding the control for the long-term research priority on AI system, author suggests to designing some kind of a utility function or decision process so that system won't behave in an unexpected way, like shutting down or a repurpose. Author says understanding theoretical framework would help us define the potential space and how to avoid the undesirable behavior. Further, the author argues that defining a sub-goal for AI systems that try to achieve the goal in acquisition of fungible resources of a different kind, and then it can contribute to a final or end goal, like taking the information about the environment and how to improve the freedom of action all over the instrument used for a mini task. But still, this kind of a sub-goal can also lead to undetected, unwanted consequences. So that's why author also focus on a condition under which resource acquisition or stabilization, which can be radical stabilization, could be an optimized strategy. So that's pretty much it for a long-term research priority. Now to focus on a safety dimension of this project, how each safety dimension had were laid out. Here are certain points which can help us understand how the research paper has tried to address or at least look into or told the problem about this dimension, like about intent and specification. So, like when AI system, autonomous system behave unexpectedly, that could be one sign of how the user intention and specification doesn't matches. And how you get like a autonomous vehicle trading and weapon. And it raises the question about the liability law and machine learning standards. Moving on to like a second dimension, like how the specification AI objectives is how the user specify specifications in a natural language and how AI models is mathematically or to the AI system. It focuses like mostly its focus like effective policy of AI to develop and use it. So the policy question we discussed, a matrix we discussed, it generally falls around this specification versus AI objective. How the policies will be efficient if the specific user specification matches with the objective function cost function that AI system defines. And to judge this, we had a different criteria we previously discussed in a policy question, like how to ensure the variability, enforceability, and risk reduction, right? And these are the main issues in a legal framework and while integrating the autonomous weapon. Moving forward, like how AI's objectives matches and mismatches with behavior. This could be found or pursued from the robust security for a critical AI system. Since the objective can match with the behavior, but for unseen data, for unseen behavior could happen in AI system, and that could be one reason where the AI's objective mismatch with the resulted behavior. And cyber attack is another kind of a space where it happens mostly, or can happen, where a hacker try to find the fault in objective to get the behavior which is not to desire. So the concern is like maintain the human control over a safety critical AI. If some kind of issue happen, can human control provide easily there to avoid further damage? Moving to the next safety dimension, computer behavior versus real world outcome. The what system output and what a real output expected. And this was an undertone throughout the research paper, like even an area like verification, validation, security control. This mostly revolved around how the computer behavior matches with the real outcome and how this parameter could be improved. And these are the if those computer behavior and real outcome not matches, it's a most like ethical verification validation issues. And that's why it need an AI system which can match or try to integrate the ethical frameworks, legal framework, comply with the ethical and legal framework. And finally, like a user intention versus the outcome. It's aligned with actually AI behavior intended outcome, how the unforeseen resources acquisition and reliability testing method could act as a risk. So these safety dimension are in this research paper are they are big. There are not a lot of a specific instance where we can say like this behavior match with this safety dimension. They are overlapping, having a little bit all over the places. So the paper has pretty much discussed each topic on a generic level. It's safe. You can easily find that each different point can span over the different safety dimensions. Okay. The thing I like about the strength I thought like research paper has, it able to categorize and organize AI problem in a definitive manner. It gives the structure and organize this research goals in a clear way. It try to provide the research direction as where it's possible, and it's very helpful for a researcher or any to get into those AI gaps and understand it. And it acts as a very good research paper, and it would definitely very helpful for me to read on to the next paper. Moving on to weaknesses, what I find you might differ. It didn't dive deep into the crucial point, like if that was a problem, what could be its impact on real world data? Has it the author has observed this impact? Can that impact lead up to, like what is the causal impact and how to quantify it? Author mentions the different problems, but I guess failed to tell us how to quantify and what it leads to and consequences. Again, author talks a lot about like a law, ethics, and social dilemma. But limitation is like the details to discuss on a broad ethical, legal, and social implication. How the ethical side would be ethical problems could be solved easily. They have discussed the 1-2 point here and there, but it was mostly generic and vague topic to us. And the impact of it is so it was to consider responsible AI development. How to do points were not there for how to do responsible AI development. Author briefly touched upon the interdisciplinary collaboration, but lack on the explaining its emphasis on diverse stakeholders, how they can get involved, may cause overlook to the valuable perspective, and can lead to or might have led to a biased research direction. This overall research paper, there are very few instances where author provided verifiable data to do his speculation on such point. So some kind of statistic or survey on the data, on specific data, if he able to back up all his speculations and points with this authentic data, it would have make research more nuanced. And that's it. Thank you.